Welcome to this episode, and this one's all about building the pool and how we built the pool. It wasn't normal because it actually took us 2.5 years to actually fully complete the pool and get it up and running. That's for a variety of reasons. Firstly, Brexit, because we could only be here part of the time. Second one is to space out the money because of the lump sums as we're going. And the third one really is the Italian workmen. Have to manage them, you have to get hold of them, they have to come, and so everything here takes about 4 to 6 times longer than it should do or normally would do. So I hope you enjoy this. There's a lot of slides that go on, but it's been an interesting journey for Sally and I, and Sally really enjoys her pool now. And apparently
Look where he's positioned himself.
Atty really likes the pool as well.
He's following us around.
And
meowing, getting in every video.
It's like, oh really?
So January 2022, we met with the geometra, who's Stefano.
The slimmer one.
The slimmer one. And his trusted assistant, Clelia, who's standing at the other end of the tape.
Even slimmer.
Yeah. Much prettier. And they met with us to measure out for the pool and the project as a whole. So the pool was part of a bigger project, wasn't it?
And the slightly rotunded one is Pino, with a very big tummy. Nice chap though, very nice.
We decided to go with a 6x3 metre pool, and we wanted to position it diagonally to the house,
Yes.
which they were very unhappy about.
Yes, I'd gone to the length to actually put the bricks out on the. You can see the bricks out at the pool, and they couldn't figure out where the pool was because it wasn't parallel to the house. I said, I know it's not parallel to the house because we're actually going to put it diagonal to the house, and they're going to have it diagonal to the wall. And if you look at the back here, the little rocks that I've put out is where the wall is going to go as well.
And they were very keen that we understood, even though we're allowed in-ground pools in our commune, you can only have a maximum depth of 1.4 metres, which we were fine with, weren't we?
Yeah. So then,
June, 5 months later,
5 months later,
Alessandro turned up with his excavator.
Yes, but you can see in the background just behind Alessandro, you've got the wall up.
Yay.
So he had to drive this tractor through a very narrow part and into the garden to actually get the tractor in. But
And where he is now is where things are planted.
It's true. There was a lot of compression going on by there.
Yeah, so this is a video that doesn't have sound, so you've got...
Shall I explain why?
Go on then.
Right, I'm living in a caddy. It's really cold. I've just got the camera. And I make a mistake because I don't put something on the camera because we've just got it.
So we'll talk you through it. So Alessandro, with his huge digger, is very kindly putting extra soil that he's now digging out where the pool is going to go. You can see... We've got a washing up table.
No, that is the metal door that I turned upside down on some bricks where I do my cooking, washing and cleaning.
And there's the solar shower.
Yeah, which is 10 litres between the two of us.
Yes.
And Sally's going, oh my God, I'm not going to shower in that.
Well, I had to, didn't I? Oh, the dead loquat tree.
Yeah, the loquat tree. And you can see how flat the root system is. It was actually diseased. We had to get it out. But it's really impressive. It basically goes down about 20 centimetres. It just goes along.
Because of the bedrock.
Yeah, bedrock. Unbelievable.
So the wall is up. It's only 40 centimetres high. But it's got the holes in the wall, knowing that we're going to put a fence in later, which we've just done.
Yeah.
Nearly 2.5 years later.
Yeah.
So Alessandro's busy digging his hole. You can see what kind of ground we're having to work with. And actually, that dead loquat tree in the corner is where the Dasylirion longissimum is now.
And he was really good because when he took the topsoil off, he was very careful to put it over to the other side where Sally wanted it. And we've raised the beds where he's putting that topsoil at the moment. So he actually goes... down. When he goes down into the sludge, then he's not so careful, but for that he was.
And if I remember right, we only paid Alessandro 250 or 350 for the whole
I think
day.
it's 250 euros for the day.
For the day. Pino, who did the first part of the pool building, so the groundworks, the excavation, and then the cement, concrete base, etc., we paid 11,000 euros to. And then the plumbers who finished it off, we paid 6,000 to. So that in total, the pool build cost us 17,000 euros.
And you can see here when he's digging below that very thin layer of soil, it's like sand, sludge of some sort. I mean, it really is sludge, and nothing grows down there. So you've got 20 to 30 centimetres of soil, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, Alexandro, really good digger, drove his digger in, drove it out. And then after this, we've got a big hole.
Oh, look at that.
Here's a big hole. And I was expecting everyone to dive in there with special machinery to measure it out. They didn't. They drove the digger back in to extend the hole. And then we saw more devastation of where Sally's going to plant her garden. And you can see how much work she's put into
I
that
think
garden.
I had my head in my hands at this point.
And at this point, I have to get into the hole
With his own tape measure.
with my own tape measure, with a few rocks, and they didn't have anything to mark out, and I had some red spray paint, and we're now walking in and out.
On a hot June day.
Yeah, hot June day, and we're sort of shambling around, and we're marking out where the pool is going to be. Me, Alessandro, the digger driver, and Pino's the builder's looking from above.
As he often did.
As he often did. And you can see, that's where it's going to go.
And look at how little soil there is.
Yeah, I know. Just that soil.
That's scary.
When you plant in that, the roots go down to the bedrock about 20 to 30 centimetres,
And
then
have to
go
go
out.
Horizontally.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So the drone pictures are quite good at this point. The mountain of sand at the back behind the wall, that reduced over time because Pete was able to use it in other areas. And we're going to turn it into the Colinetta, aren't we? You're going to turn it into Sunset Hillock.
Yeah, I think
left.
I tried to work out how much I'd actually moved, and I think I've moved probably somewhere in the region of 25 to 30 tonnes of that sludge, and for different things.
So this is when you were sleeping in the caddy.
Yeah, you can see the caddy parked on in the top of the picture. I'm actually sleeping in there. I've got a solar panel with lithium batteries under my seat. That's what I had. I've got a builder's toilet, which is by the extension on the new building of the extension, and I've got a solar shower with a 10-litre shower in it.
Lucky you, because
Lucky me.
Between two of us, it was only 5.
Yeah. So no running water, no doors, no lights, no electricity. Yeah, builder's
and loads
toilet.
of mosquitoes.
Yeah, and by the way, that time of year got down to -2.
This is June.
Was it?
Yes.
All right. Before that. Before that, it was -2.
You were cooking. That's the opposite problem.
Yeah, it's a blur. It's a blur. It's something I try and get rid of now. Sleeping out there.
Yeah. So next stage.
Yeah, the next stage is this is where they come in, and when was this? When did they do this?
This was shortly afterwards, so I think it was still June when you were here.
Right. Well, they actually put in the metalwork for the base of it, and then we're going to get the come in and get concrete in. I think this thing is that they put this in, and I had no idea when they were going to pitch up. Then all of a sudden, this guy pitches up with a concrete mixer, and I think, oh, okay, didn't know he was coming. And then everyone else pitches up at the same time. So from I don't know anyone's coming, and all of a sudden I've got 5 or 6 builders. If you look in the background, there are 2 concrete lorries out there. And if you look over to the right, they're parking their cars out there and a van. So I wasn't expecting anyone. Then I got 2 concrete lorries, a car and a van, and lots of people pouring concrete.
It's like waiting for buses. And actually, what we were more interested in at the time was finishing the main house. I think the frustration I had was, yes, we wanted to get the pool done, but actually the house was more important.
Yeah, we had no doors or windows. I kept on asking for doors and windows.
And Pino, for some reason, prioritised the pool, and it really pushed ahead with it in a short space of time.
He did. Well, I mean, but here,
Yeah.
we've got a pool, and the plumbers have come in quite nicely and put the bottom suckers in.
And this is interesting because this is almost where we sort of started to switch over to the plumbers to finish the job.
Yeah, I mean, Pino, our builder, wanted to do it all, and I said no, and we'll come on to that later, really. And after they laid the base, they eventually came back in and put the woodwork up and the metalwork inside to actually pour concrete into and make it a full-time shell. And here you are.
And I think that was September. So it was the same couple of months really afterwards.
Yeah. And they actually poured the concrete base, which is going to be where the pool patio is. And you can see that around the back, Alexandra did take some of that sludge behind the pool so Sally could plant. but she has to do an awful lot of work to get rid of a lot of that before she plants anything.
I didn't add anything to that either. So the soil, well, there was hardly any soil. It was mainly sand and a bit of soil.
Yeah. This is quite interesting. I had a real interesting conversation with the builders as they couldn't understand why I put this ledge in. I said, well, it's a seating ledge. So we can sit in the pool with the water lapping up about our shoulders, and we can put our glasses on the edge there. And they just couldn't get over it because every pool's obviously got to have stairs and some ladders to climb in and out of, and ours had neither.
Well, I didn't see the point in stairs or steps down.
No.
Because it was such a small pool, we would have lost half the pool to steps. So it seemed like a good compromise.
Yeah, and you know, when you look from above, you can see that you can get 4 or 5 people sat on the seated area on the right hand side, and you can put your drinks out.
So this picture is November 22, and it's problematic because we've just started to plant the garden. However, you can see what the rainfall is doing in the pool.
Oh, talking about rainfall, Sally.
Yes.
What about this?
What about this?
Oh, look.
Well, there's some water at the bottom of it.
Sally's not here, so I decided to do a little video for her and show her. Oh, look what's inside.
Go swimming in that, why don't you?
Yeah, I think she's gone back. She's planted some plants at the back.
It does not look very appealing, Pete.
No, it's surprising, really, isn't it? And then go on, Sal.
Okay, so this is April 2023. We'd been away for 3 months and came back to this. And in the foreground, you can just see some silver leaves. Well, that is one of the plants that I planted, and it's surrounded and coated by weeds, as the rest of the garden was. So the problem, though, was the water in the pool that hadn't gone, and these little chaps turned up.
This evening.
Yeah.
We're going to have to go to the other end of the land.
They were very happy though. They had a nice little home
and they were spawning. So basically, I thought this was, I don't know, some dropped string or something. So I got in with my welly boots, and much to my horror found, as I scooped it out to put it into buckets, that actually it was the frog or toad spawn in strings.
You actually screamed.
I felt like a mass murderer.
Yeah,
I
but
really
you screamed because I came out.
It was horrible.
Oh, and Sally, shall we see you now in action?
And there was a lot of this going on.
There's a lot of water in it.
Yeah, those were the days. And
so, I mean, now for any people watching this, I'm not sending my wife to manually bail out a pool. All right, that's not what happened. No, I had the pool pump going. I said, the water pump going, and we can only get down to a certain level. And the only way, because I was busy with the builders, is to fill up these trugs. Then we'd pump out of the trugs to get all the water out, because we needed to dry the pool off so they could come in and do the next stage.
Yes. And I was determined at that point to not go through another winter of collecting rainwater in the pool.
But Sally did say when we actually dried it out that she wanted her swinging hammock chairs up, and this is the only place we could put them.
It's the first time we used them, and it was it doesn't look that picturesque now, does it? But
well, we thought it was luxury. Anyway. Moving on, I had to move the hammock chairs because when's this now then, Sal?
So this is May 2023, and actually it's an interesting stage, so don't move on too quickly. At this point we were thinking about whether to go with lining rather than tiles, and please can you explain why we went with lining rather than tiles?
Yeah, talked to a lot of people, we're pool newbies, didn't know a lot, and I just read lots of stories about tiles falling off, leaking, not being fixed properly, so we decided in the end it was a lower risk option for us to go for pool liner.
Okay, and we were also in the slightly tricky situation of extracting ourselves from the arrangement with the contracted builder because he wanted to finish it off, and we decided to go with plumbers. Why did we decide to do that?
Because they would do what they said on the day they said with a bill that they didn't inflate, and they replied whenever you sent them a message. And that's Francesco and Vincenzo, fantastic pair of people. And we wanted to hand the pool over to him, and we told Pino, look, no, they're going to do it. And it's a good job we did.
Yes, and at the end of May 2023, we had a visit from Helen and Tim in New Zealand, who had a saltwater pool, and until that point we were going to go forward with the chlorinated pool, weren't we?
Yeah.
And a conversation with Helen changed our minds. So
Yeah.
suddenly we were asking our plumbers for a quote based on a saltwater pool. It was only slightly more, not that much more,
No.
but it was a good choice, I think.
Yeah, fantastic choice.
Very kind to the skin. The water's lovely.
But as you can see here, the if you look on the right there, the pool pump housing, that was put in a hole, and that's what it's left with. And that sludge pile that we dug out, I've actually filled that in by hand with sludge to actually bring it up to that level. So that is just a whole pile of sludge in there, which I've then covered with breccia, stones and other things. But that took me, oh God knows how much.
Ages.
Yeah, that was a big hole.
And it's worth saying that Franco, who delivers our water, he's got a truck that carries 6,000 litres. So when we filled up the pool, that was 4 trucks worth, and it was €100, wasn't it?
Yeah, €25 or
Yeah,
6,000
and
litres.
I don't think we've, apart from topping it up, we haven't changed the
No.
water over since.
You don't have to, it's salted.
No.
And this is a couple of days before we were leaving, and we were promised that it was all going to be done well before, and we'd be able to use the pool, and we're going in 2 days. And
It was usable, to be fair. It was usable, but we just couldn't sit by it.
I don't think we went in. The tiler's still there. I'm still trying to fill in the great big hole. And I was using everything I had. There's a couple of tofu bricks in there to hold the sides and other stuff. But you can see if you look in the background there, you can see Sally's leg.
I'm cleaning out the pizza oven.
Yeah, in the pizza oven. What are you doing in there, Sally?
I think we're due to leave that day or the day after.
I think it was the day after.
Yeah.
And we've still got the Tyler here, and he's...
Oh, he was sweating. He was not a happy man.
No, he wasn't a happy
It was
man.
a really hot day.
So when we left, the Tyler was still trying to do the tiles on the pool patio, but he hadn't gone around the
and the
sides.
grouting didn't get done until about 3 months later, did it?
When we came back, the tiles were all down, but none of the grouting.
None of the grouting.
So
They
we had
said
to
it
get
was
them
too
back.
hot.
Yeah. So, I mean, the stone that we put down is local stone. It's Trani stone from the local quarry, and it's 2 centimetres thick. Lovely stone, real natural, lovely stone. And this is
September.
when we came back, wasn't
Yeah.
it? And
3 months later.
I think if you look closely, there's no grouting around the tiles.
It took a bit of badgering from us to get them to do it.
So this has been down probably 4 months, and there's no grouting on it. So we got them back.
Now, that was the first winter, and we did a DIY winterizing cover.
Yeah.
Because we knew we had to do a winterizing cover because we weren't around here the whole time. So we used a tarp, didn't we?
Yeah, we bought a sort of tarp, and then I rolled some planks and bricks and stuff, and I put a couple of holes, strategically placed holes in it. Yeah, it was a real makeshift, but it sort of worked. Oh, look at that.
And that's the first proper summer. So we treated ourselves to I can't remember what you call them. Umbrellino.
A cantilever umbrella.
Cantilever umbrella, which is essential in this heat. And some recliners, again, with little things that cover your faces from the sun. And it was gorgeous. That's first summer, properly, 24.
Yeah, and I mean, and even where Sally's planted in the background, it's all beginning to grow nicely now. Mm-hmm. And here we are. So.
Enjoying our seat in the pool.
Yes, and you can see that actually you could easily put 6 people across that if you wanted to.
Yeah, have a party.
And you could put your drinks behind you, which was exactly what I'd done.
And the only thing that's changed since here is we've got a fence up now, and that rose that's climbing everywhere is actually up a fence.
Yeah, how long did that take?
A bit longer. Another year.
Yeah, another year. Oh, well, never mind.
Got there in the end.
Well, and then...
The second winter, we treated ourselves to a proper cover.
I after the first year, no, that's not going to work. So we actually spent the money and bought... You see, they got their water-filled bladders.
How much money?
I think it was about €450.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Something like that. It was when I say money. But this has got water-filled bladders. It holds it down. It's got proper material. It's not going to break. But the little plank over the side is, I made a pump that I could pump the water out of into some tanks, because incredibly, even on a 6 by 3 metre pool, that's about 2.5 tonnes of water sat on the top of that cover.
Valuable water for us because we harvest our rain.
Yeah, and so we pulled all of that out, stored it, and we're using it for irrigation.
And that is the story of our pool build.
Yeah, story of our pool build. And did I want a pool, Sal?
No, you didn't, but I always have. It's been my dream.
And you love it, don't you?
Yeah.
All
And you
right.
do all the work.
Yeah. Pool boy. And I don't get paid for it. Never mind.
Thank you for watching. We hope you've enjoyed the story of the 2.5 years. Shut up! The 2.5 years of getting the pool to where it is. And I'm so grateful that it finished okay. We are going to do an episode about the lessons learned about the pool.
Because we have learnt a lot of lessons about pools and how to keep them.
Having never had one in our lives before, it was a rather steep learning curve, wasn't
So
it?
it's going to be the equivalent of dummies for pools.
Pools for dummies, you mean?
Yeah. Well, we're dummies for pools.
Dummies, okay. Okay, so right, enough. If you'd like to subscribe, the button's down there. We'd love it if you subscribed and carried on following us on our journey at La Bolla. If you liked it, please give us a thumbs up. And if you'd like to make any comments or suggestions or feedback generally, we enjoy that too. And we usually reply within 24 hours. Thank you.